In the shadows of Chinese folklore, a strange and unsettling creature lurks, the Jiangshi, or stiff corpse. Unlike any monster from the West, the Jiangshi is a uniquely East Asian terror, its legend echoing through centuries of ghost stories and whispered warnings. It is a figure that haunts the imagination, a symbol of what happens when the boundary between life and death is disturbed. Risen from the grave, frozen by rigor mortis, the Jiangshi cannot walk like the living. Its body is so stiff that it moves only by hopping, arms stretched forward, unable to bend at the joints. This awkward, jerky movement is both eerie and tragic, a reminder that this creature is trapped between worlds, neither fully alive nor truly dead. This is no suave Western vampire, no charming count in a cape. The Jiangshi is a relentless, mindless monster, driven by a single, terrifying purpose: to steal the life force, or qi, from the living. It is a creature of hunger and instinct, feared not for its cunning, but for its unstoppable, unnatural persistence. The Jiangshi is a chilling symbol of the fragile boundary between life and death. Its presence is a warning, a reminder to respect the dead, honor ancient traditions, and never disturb the peace of the grave. In Chinese culture, the rituals surrounding death are sacred, and the Jiangshi embodies the consequences of neglecting these customs. The legend of the Jiangshi is not confined to China alone. Its story has traveled across East Asia, taking root in Korea as the Gangxi and in Japan as the Kyonshi. Each culture has added its own twist, blending local beliefs and fears into the myth, but the core remains the same. A reanimated corpse, stiff and relentless, haunting the night. No matter where the tale is told, the image endures. A corpse, rigid and unyielding, hopping through the darkness in search of life. The Jiangshi is a nightmare that refuses to rest, a story that lingers in the shadows of the mind. But the Jiangshi's story is about more than just fear. It is deeply connected to the customs, beliefs, and values that have shaped a nation's view of the afterlife. Through the Jiangshi, we glimpse the importance of ancestor worship, the rituals of burial, and the respect for spirits that define Chinese tradition. To truly understand this monster, we must look at its real-world origins in Qing Dynasty China. During this era, stories of the Jiangshi flourished, fueled by a mix of superstition, practical concerns about death, and the mysterious forces believed to govern the afterlife. The truth behind the hopping vampire is a journey into a world where practicality and superstition walked hand in hand. The Jiangshi is more than a monster. It is a reflection of the fears, hopes, and beliefs of a people who have always lived in the shadow of the unknown. The legend of the Jiangshi, or hopping vampire, is rooted in a fascinating blend of history and folklore. Its origins can be traced back to a real, practical tradition in Hunan's remote Jiangxi region during the Qing dynasty, a time when superstition and daily life were deeply intertwined. In these mist-shrouded valleys and villages, the boundaries between the living and the dead often felt thin, and the landscape itself seemed to invite ghostly tales. During this era, many people from Hunan traveled far from home to find work, often in dangerous or distant places. When these migrant workers died away from their ancestral villages, their families believed it was essential to bring their bodies back for burial. Only then, it was thought, could their spirits find peace and avoid becoming restless ghosts. But transporting a corpse across rugged mountains and winding rivers was no easy task. The journey was long, costly, and fraught with both physical and spiritual dangers. To solve this, families would hire Taoist priests, who were believed to possess the knowledge and rituals needed to safely guide the dead home. These priests would perform ceremonies and lead processions under the cover of night, when the world was quiet and the spirits were said to be most active. The bodies were tied upright to long bamboo poles, carried by teams of porters. As the group moved, the flexible bamboo would bounce, making the corpses appear to hop eerily along the moonlit path. To onlookers, this strange sight was both mesmerizing and terrifying, blurring the line between ritual and the supernatural. The priests would ring bells and chant incantations, filling the night air with haunting sounds and the scent of incense. These rituals were meant to protect the living from evil spirits and ensure the safe passage of the dead, but they also added to the eerie, otherworldly atmosphere of the procession. Over time, rumors spread that not all these processions were what they seemed. Some whispered that bands of smugglers disguised themselves as corpse drivers, using the fear of the supernatural to keep nosy villagers and officials away from their illicit activities. The legend of the hopping corpse became a convenient cover for those who wished to move unseen through the night. Whether these processions were solemn funeral rites or clever criminal ruses, the image of upright hopping corpses moving through the mist left a deep impression on the collective imagination. Stories spread from village to village, growing stranger and more supernatural with each retelling. The legend of the Jiangshi grew from these mysterious night journeys, blending the practical need to return the dead to their homes with the region's rich tradition of ghost stories and superstitions. The line between fact and fiction blurred, and the tale took on a life of its own. Over generations, the hopping corpse transformed from a practical solution for grieving families into a fearsome monster of legend, one that haunted the dreams of children and adults alike, and became a staple of Chinese horror folklore. Thus, born from both necessity and fear, the Jiangshi endures as a symbol of how real-life customs can give rise to enduring myths, reminding us that sometimes the most chilling legends have their roots in the everyday struggles of ordinary people. The Jiangshi's look is instantly recognizable, thanks in large part to the influence of Hong Kong cinema. These films didn't just popularize the Jiangshi, they defined its visual identity for generations. The eerie, fog-filled streets and shadowy corners of classic Chinese horror movies gave the Jiangshi a stage, turning it into a cultural icon that still haunts imaginations today. The Jiangshi is almost always dressed in a Qing dynasty official's robe, complete with a round hat and intricate embroidery. This formal attire, once a symbol of power and order, now hangs on a stiff, decaying body, transforming respectability into something deeply unsettling. Some scholars believe this choice of clothing was more than just a costume. It may have been a subtle protest against the Manchu rulers of the Qing era, using horror to turn authority into something to be feared. By dressing the undead in the garments of the ruling class, storytellers could express anxieties about power, control, and the unnatural persistence of authority, all under the guise of supernatural folklore. The Jiangshi's body is locked in rigor mortis, its joints frozen and unbending. Unable to walk, it is forced to move by hopping, arms stretched out stiffly for balance, a movement that is both comical and deeply disturbing. Its skin is a ghastly pale or sickly green, sometimes sprouting patches of coarse fur. The face is often twisted into a mask of terror, with bulging eyes and a mouth frozen in a silent scream, as if forever caught between life and death. Long, wild black hair tumbles over its shoulders, and its hands end in black claw-like nails, grotesque extensions that hint at the creature's predatory nature. In some stories, the Jiangshi's mouth gapes open, revealing a lolling tongue and rotting teeth. Advanced decay might leave parts of the face or body exposed, making each encounter with a Jiangshi uniquely horrifying and unpredictable. The contrast between the pristine, formal uniform and the rotting, monstrous flesh beneath is striking. It's a powerful symbol of order collapsing into chaos, of civilization being overtaken by the forces of decay and death. The Jiangshi is a creature trapped between two worlds, caught between the rules of society and the inevitability of decay. It is a body that refuses to accept death, lingering in a state of restless, unnatural existence. Its stiff, hopping form, moving through the misty night, is a haunting reminder of what happens when the natural order is disturbed, an image that continues to fascinate and terrify to this day. A Jiangshi doesn't rise by accident. It's born from spiritual imbalance or improper burial. Violent deaths, suicides, or vengeance can trap a soul, animating the corpse with anger. Lightning striking a coffin or a cat leaping over it were also believed to reanimate the dead. Taoist belief says burial mistakes can leave a base soul, the trapped in the body, creating a mindless Jiangshi. In modern tales, a Jiangshi's bite or scratch can spread the curse, much like a vampire. This twist made the Jiangshi even more terrifying. A single monster could create an army. The legend blends spiritual fears with the threat of a spreading plague. Once risen, the Jiangshi hunts the living, hiding by day and emerging at night. It doesn't drink blood but drains, the vital life force, from its victims, leaving cold, lifeless bodies. The idea of blood-sucking came later, influenced by Western vampire tales. Jiangshi are often blind, hunting by sensing the breath of the living. Holding your breath can make you invisible to them, a famous survival trick. The Jiangshi is mindless, driven only by hunger for. It can't be reasoned with or scared away, making it a relentless force of nature. Facing a Jiangshi is like facing a walking plague. Its pursuit is single-minded and terrifying. The monster embodies the fear of death that refuses to rest. Despite its awkward hop, the Jiangshi is tough. Its rigid body shrugs off most attacks. Ancient Jiangshi can evolve, regaining flexibility, running, leaping, or even flying, becoming nearly unstoppable. Its claws are razor-sharp, and its bite spreads the curse. Some legends grant it dark powers, causing decay, paralyzing fear, or withering plants. Yet, it has odd weaknesses. Spilling rice or coins compels it to stop and count, giving victims a chance to escape. Its reliance on breath makes it vulnerable to clever tricks. The Jiangshi is a mix of terrifying power and bizarre limitations. This balance makes it a unique monster in folklore. Folklore offers many ways to stop a Jiangshi. The most famous is the Taoist talisman, a yellow paper with a sealing spell, slapped onto the creature's forehead to freeze it. Peachwood swords, sticky rice, and black dog's blood are all believed to harm or repel it. Mirrors can stun or frighten a Jiangshi, as it fears its own reflection. Everyday objects like brooms or vinegar are also used for protection. Even architecture played a role. High wooden thresholds at doorways kept Jiangshi out, as they can't bend their legs to cross. These defenses blend superstition with practical design. The Jiangshi's weaknesses are as quirky as its appearance. Outwitting it is as important as fighting it. Tradition and cleverness are the best weapons against the hopping dead. The Jiangshi leapt from folklore to fame in 1980s Hong Kong cinema, especially with the film Mr. Vampire. These movies mixed horror, comedy, and kung fu, cementing the image of the hopping corpse in pop culture. Audiences loved the blend of scares and slapstick, and the Jiangshi craze swept Asia. The legend spread to video games, anime, and cartoons, appearing in everything from Darkstalkers to Genshin Impact. Each new version added playful twists, making the Jiangshi a global icon. The monster's adaptability keeps it fresh, whether terrifying, funny, or even heroic. Its stiff hop and outstretched arms remain instantly recognizable worldwide. The Jiangshi endures because it's more than a monster. It's a reflection of history, culture, and human fear. Its roots in real funeral practices make the myth feel plausible and haunting. The Jiangshi embodies anxieties about improper death and the need to honor the dead. Its unique traits and quirky rules set it apart from generic zombies or vampires. Every encounter is a puzzle, not just a fight. The legend adapts, shifting from villain to comic relief to sympathetic character. From ancient roads to modern screens, the Jiangshi keeps hopping through our imagination. It's a chilling, unforgettable symbol of the power of folklore.